Hi Year 4, this is a quick lesson on factors so that hopefully you understand them a little bit better. I'm going to flick to my book and show you some examples of how to find factors of a number. All right, so basically a factor multiplied by a factor gives you a product. Okay, so let's have a look at an example of this. Let's go 3 times 4 equals 12. So that would mean that 3 is a factor and 4 is a factor, and the product of 3 and 4 is 12. So 12 is the product, okay? So if we're looking at factors of 12, we've got 2 there already. I wonder if you can pause the video now and think of any other numbers that you can multiply together to get 12, whole numbers, not decimals, and write them down. So write down what I've got here in your book, and then underneath I want you to write down any other multiplications you can think of that equal 12. So pause the video now and go ahead and do that. Okay, I hope that you've written down some answers to that question, and I'm going to go back to my book now and I'm going to look at any other numbers I can find that equal 12, because 3 and 4 are not the only factors of 12. So let's have a look. Okay, so whenever you're given a number and you're asked to find a factor, the very first ones that you should always write down is the number multiplied by 1. Always multiplied by 1 equals 12. So whether the number's 100, the product is 100, and that you've asked to find a factor, you could go 100 times 1. It doesn't matter what the number is, you always do it multiplied by 1, and that's your very special present, your first 2 factors always given to you, okay? So always remember those 2. They seem really obvious, but so many people forget. All right, 12. How about 6 times 2? And the reason I went for 2 is because 12 is an even number. And whenever I have an even number, I know that 2 is definitely going to be a factor. All right, so 6 times 2 equals 12. Notice when I'm writing my numbers in my maths book, each number gets its own box and each symbol gets its own box as well, okay? Even with the number 12, each part of 12 gets its own box. So when you're writing in your maths book, I want you to remember that and make sure you're setting your work out nicely. Okay, can I think of any other numbers that I can multiply together to get 12? Obviously, if I get 3 times 4, I can always do the turnaround fact, which is 4 times 3. Same with 12 times 1. I can always go 1 times 12. And with 6 times 2, yes, I can go 2 times 6. But in this instance, this isn't really helpful, because when I go through and list the factors in the end, all I'm going to be doing is listing each of the numbers that I multiplied together. So I'm not going to be listing 12 twice just because I have the turnaround, because we can only really write 12 down as a factor once. So once I've got all the numbers that equal 12, I can write down the factors. I'm going to just go to a handy thing for you if you're not very good at your multiplications, and that is the multiplication chart. So you can get these on the internet. I'll link one into the slideshow for you so you can also use it. But if you're really not strong on your multiplication tables, make sure you use one of these and check, because I don't want you missing one of the factors because you haven't got this background knowledge that you need. My suggestion to you is to spend some time now learning them, because it's going to help you so much later on with the rest of your maths in the future. Okay, so once I've done that, now I can go through and I can list the factors. So the factors are 3, and then I just use a comma to separate it, 4, comma, 12, 12 is a factor of 12, 1, 6, and finally 2. So when someone's asking me to find the factors of the number 12, these are the factors of 12. Okay, so If I was going to make my bookwork just a little bit neater, I probably would have spaced that out a bit better. So I'm going to do that right now. I should have left a line in there. So the factors of 12 were 3, 4, 12, 1, 6, 2. There we go. And that's how you find factors of a number. So now what I want you to do is I want you to try and find the factors of the following numbers, okay? So find the factors of 18, 24, 30, let's go 72, and let's do 13 and 16. All right, so I want you to find the factors of these numbers. And when you're finding the factors, I would like you to set all the multiplications out just like I did, followed by factors of whatever number. So if you're doing factors of 18, I'll see all of these for the number 18, and then you'll write factors of 18 and you will list them just like I did there. All right, so I'm looking forward to seeing that work photographed and uploaded to Seesaw at the end of this session. And then if you finish that and you're ready for something more challenging, there is the activity that I've set for you on, there's a slideshow extension activity. So if you go into the next slide, it's got some very challenging tasks there. So this is your learning about factors today, and then you've got some challenging tasks to go on with where you're applying some of your knowledge of multiplication. All right, guys, have a great time learning, and I'll see you later.